Make no mistake about it, youth entrepreneurship is on the rise. Stay tuned to learn how a 15-year-old teen entrepreneur and pastry chef is blazing her way to success. Hello and welcome to the Career and College Matters Show, where we talk about important topics surrounding today's career and college concerns. Our goal is to inform, empower, and inspire you, our viewing audience, with information that's going to help you to discover and achieve true academic and career success. I'm your host, Dr. Mildred Charles, and today I am so honored to have Miss Vernice Williams here in our studios. Miss Williams is a retired military veteran who helped launch her daughter Gabrielle Williams' company, Glorious Pastries by Gabrielle. Miss Williams was instrumental in helping grow her daughter's business from baking for family and friends to baking for award-winning celebrities. Having obtained a master's degree in human services with a business cognate, she assisted Gabrielle with creating a business plan. Miss Williams has a solid understanding of concepts such as strategic marketing, management, accounting practices, and legal issues in business. And because of this, Gabrielle was honored by United Nations Ambassador Dr. Clyde Rivers as a Youth Add Value recipient. Gabrielle was also recently selected to be honored by the National Black Chef Association. Thank you, Ms. Williams, for being a guest on the Career and College Matters Show. Wow, kudos to you. I am sure she couldn't have done this alone. So welcome to the show. So before we get started, could you tell us what are your views on youth in entrepreneurship and why is it even important?
I think the opportunities that you have now is just amazing. Looking at so many youth that are starting their business is inspirational because I didn't have the opportunities that they're having now to seriously be taken as business owners and not just a kid with a small dream. I think it's an amazing, amazing thing to just see how many youth entrepreneurs are out there and successful. Yes. Youth entrepreneurs.
Yes, absolutely. You know, trailblazers, like I like to talk, say. So when speaking about youth entrepreneurships, as you heard with the intro, it's so important for us to talk about this topic because it is a great pathway for our younger generation. So when Gabrielle first came to you about starting her own company, what were your initial thoughts or feelings?
Initially, my first thought was, is this going to be like some of the other activities that she started and didn't complete? Okay. You know, she wanted to be a cheerleader. That didn't work out. She wanted to do gymnastics. That didn't work out. Okay. Tennis. That didn't work out. Okay. So when she came to me with the idea of starting a business, I'm not from a family of entrepreneurs, so there was kind of a little hesitation on where did the idea come from. But what I definitely wanted to do was make sure she understood what she wanted to get into. So there was 3 questions that I asked her, which were, why did she want to start a business? The second one was, what did she want her business to be? Okay. And the third was, how was she going to implement that vision?
Great questions.
So when she answered those questions, then there was a stipulation. Okay. If you could give me 3 frostings made from scratch, then I would consider you starting your business.
Oh, wow.
So her first creation was a chocolate espresso frosting, which I was wondering where she got that idea from.
Because I'm hungry right now, and I'm like, okay.
So I was thinking maybe she would have came down with a chocolate or a vanilla, but when she came with that one, then that's when I was like, well, maybe she really has something.
Wow.
So from there on, I told her, okay, we'll see what we can do, and we'll try to make this work.
Wow, wow. So, but where did she come up with that recipe? Because that one sounds very gourmet.
From what she was telling me, she always wanted her products to be different, not the
Okay.
norm. So I'm not really sure where the idea came up with, but I knew she didn't want to be the normal baker.
Okay.
She wanted stuff where people would draw attention to it, like I've never heard of that
Yes.
before.
So she used a little bit of creativity to
She
make
did.
this happen. Okay.
Yes, she did.
So then after she came to you, what did your family and friends say when they learned that she wanted to start her own company?
Some family members laughed, okay, it only lasts for a certain period of time. And some family and friends were very supportive.
Wow.
You know, the first thing was like, if you need anything, let us know. So having her to try to understand, you're not going to always have some people that are going to support you, but don't focus on that. You need to focus on what your vision is and those that are going to support you. So it was half and half.
Half and half. And there's a saying that goes, a mother knows her child. So what do you know or have come to know about Gabrielle as you watched her develop her business?
I would say her resilience.
Oh, wow.
The first time she heard her first no, of course she was very disappointed with that, but I told her to just pick yourself up. You know, whatever they told you, whatever those critiques were, fix it. And from that point on, she just, every no that she got, she just saw it as the next opportunity, and she just kept pressing forward and pressing forward.
That's wonderful. And so in what ways does she, because you and I talked and you said she's an inspiration, so in what ways does she inspire you?
That's a funny question, because usually as a parent, you don't look at your child inspiring you.
Yes.
You look to be an inspiration to them. But I would say just her determination, you know, not stopping. She had a vision and she was going to do everything that she could, despite, you know, some rejection from other business owners, because sometimes she'll be the only child in a room full of adults. But for her to stand her ground, just to see her just say, hey, I'm a business owner just like you. The strength that she had just inspired me in so many ways.
That's beautiful. And so, but how do you specifically support your daughter in her business venture?
First, it's always emotionally and physically.
Okay.
That's number one. If she's tired or just emotionally drained, that comes into play, number one. When she says she's tired and she really doesn't want to she wants to take a break, I allow her to take a break. I don't have her keep pressing forward. And outside of those things, financially, I'm her investor.
Okay.
We have had investors come up, but I've always told her I wanted her to make a certain amount of money. And once she reached that threshold, then we would consider investors. So everything in regards to her business, if she asked, I'm there to support her.
That's beautiful, and that's good support. So for other mothers out there and other parents who see that their child may have these entrepreneurial ambitions, this entrepreneurial drive, what would you say to them, to encourage them along the same path?
Just believe them. Don't be like I did and question the authenticity of what their vision is. Just be there to support them 100%. If they're saying it, then we need to listen. I would definitely say don't do what I did and start questioning whether it was legit or not. Just be there.
So speaking about questioning, what is a lesson that you learned about yourself as a parent of a teen CEO? So like, what's one thing that you learned about you?
To listen more,
Okay.
to not get so wrapped up into being the adult, I know it all, and actually just hearing what her ideas are. So I definitely, and I'm still learning that now, even in the midst of some of the ideas that she come up with, to just sometimes just be quiet and listen to what she has to say.
Okay. Well, you have a very inspiring story as a parent and as a support system for her. And, you know, in our next segment, we're going to, you know, talk about that. We will have Gabrielle on, and she's going to share her experience about the making of a teen CEO. So we're asking you to stay tuned. We will be right back.
So how was work?
It was 1,300 hours. My math class from 302 was in the trenches. Davy Roth had it the worst. Fractions were coming at him left and right. He just didn't get the damn things. 2 days ago, I tried to teach him what 1/4 of 1/2 was using different sizes of blocks. Yesterday, I tried again by dividing up pizza. Both missions failed.
Oh no.
But today, I was ready. I created a combat math game where the only way to beat the enemy is to out-fraction them. Davy conquered every last denominator. My game was so successful, the principal is deploying it to math squadrons all over the school.
Anywho, how was your day?
Oh, today my boss treated the office to salad wraps.
Salad wraps.
I know.
Welcome back to the Career and College Matters show, where we talk about important topics surrounding today's career and college concerns. I'm your host, Dr. Mildred Charles, and joining me for this segment is none other than Miss Gabrielle Williams. Gabrielle Williams is a 15-year-old teen entrepreneur and CEO of Glorious Pastries by Gabrielle. Her love for baking presented itself at an early age after being subjected to bullying by fellow classmates. Gabrielle found comfort in baking in order to deal with the stress and the emotional stress that she was dealing with from her self-esteem. Once Gabrielle met her mentor, Gabrielle Jordan, who is also another teen entrepreneur and CEO, she took a leap of faith and founded her company at the tender age of 9 years old. You heard me, 9 years old. In addition to her business accomplishments, Gabrielle was recently selected as one of 100 high school students nationwide to be part of the class 2019 Steve Harvey and Essence Magazine Disney Dreamers Academy. If that wasn't enough, she's a co-author of the published book, The Science Behind It, Formulating Success at Any Age. Thank you, Gabrielle, for being here. My goodness, what wonderful accomplishments. My hat's off to you. So tell me, what made you decide to start a business at such a young age?
Well, what made me decide to start a business at a young age, I was being bullied in school in the 3rd grade, but I also had a sweet tooth and a love for baking. So I just thought, why not make money doing something I love?
Oh, now that is real clever, right? Okay. So you said make money with doing something that you love. Did you try anything else, or did you know it was baking that you wanted to do, or?
At first, I tried making jewelry. My mentor, Gabrielle Jordan, she also made jewelry, and I wanted to be like her. So I tried to make jewelry, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought it would. So then I remembered that I like baking, and I just tried to do that instead.
That's awesome. You know, it's funny because bullying is such a real issue. It does impact young people. So if you could say one thing to those kids that are bullying you, what would you say to them?
Honestly, I would say thank you for bullying me, because without you bullying me, I wouldn't have pretty much reached my potential and my greatness. Without you bullying me, I pretty much wouldn't be here right now. Glorious Pastries by Gabrielle wouldn't even exist right now. So I just want to say thank you.
Isn't that a beautiful thing? You know, you have an old spirit, an old soul to even acknowledge it in those terms. But you're absolutely right. So let's talk about entrepreneurship. So why is entrepreneurship important to you?
I would say it's important to me because I'm my own boss, so I can make my hours pretty much.
Boss lady, right?
Well, yes.
You're a boss lady.
I could make my own hours. I could, if I want to take an order, I could take an order. If I don't, I just have to answer to myself. I don't have to answer to anyone else.
Wow, that's amazing. So you've got all the elements. You understand it pretty well. So what are some of the accomplishments that you're proud of?
I would say one of my accomplishments would be being selected as one of the 100 for Disney's Steve Harvey's Disney Dreamers Academy.
Yes.
I've heard that it was very hard to get into, but getting in on my first try, that I would say it would be a huge accomplishment. I will also say being able to bake for some celebrities, like award-winning celebrities, that would be an accomplishment also.
Tell us some of the celebrities that you've cooked for or baked for.
I've baked for Jonathan McReynolds. He's a gospel singer. I've also baked for George Faison, who's a Tony Award winner.
Awesome. And you've been featured on a number of different news media channels and outlets. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I've been featured in the Washington Post, Women's World Magazine, Good Morning America, Fox 5. Trying to think of another
Just so
one.
many of them.
Just so many.
Just so many. We got it. So, but let's talk about some. You know, thinking about your brand. You know, how would you describe your brand? You know, what are some key words that you think of?
I would say old-fashioned. Usually when they taste my product, they say it reminds them of home, and I also say like homemade too. That would be another word to describe my business.
How about delicious? How about glorious? How about okay? And so you were talking about. Let's talk about what you want to do, like moving forward with your ambitions. You know, what do you want to do when you go to college? And
currently I'm actually in a program called PTech, where I'm currently taking college classes at Prince George's Community College, where I'll receive my associate's degree in hospitality service management. Other than that, I also want to open several bakeries in New York and Los Angeles.
There you go.
And another one of my goals is to bake for Oprah Winfrey.
Wow, I believe that one's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. Yes, that's going to be wonderful. And so, what would you say to other young people who want to start their own business?
I would say surround yourself by positive people. Hang around friends or people that would support you. Maybe they will, talk about your business to other people, try to get you more business. I would say find your passion.
Yes, that's
so
important.
You love what you do pretty much. I also say talk to your parents so they could support you too, and any other family members that will support you.
Absolutely. I think those are wonderful words of advice, especially like you said, talking about your passion. So in our final segment, we're going to have Gabrielle and her mother. They'll be here to talk about why it's important to have that family support that Gabrielle was just talking about in order to accomplish your dreams. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
We serve the entire state of Missouri.
On the west side of Chicago.
We serve families that live in Washington, D.C. Prevention is at the core, whether that's mental health, physical health, school readiness.
Drugs, alcohol, mental health, suicide, underage drinking, and tobacco use.
Marijuana, all the way up to opioids, cocaine. If it's a drug, we are there to try and prevent it.
National Prevention Week is a celebration of all the things that happen all year long.
Some of our National Prevention Week activities have been focusing on the illegal drugs, illegal use of opioids.
Prevention is about saving lives.
This is where it happens.
This is where it happens.
This is where it happens. This is Prevention at Work.
Welcome back to the Career and College Matters show, where we talk about important topics surrounding today's career and college concerns. Joining me for this final segment are Ms. Williams and her amazing daughter, Gabrielle Williams. She's a 15-year-old CEO, pastry chef, author, and a motivational speaker. Okay, you heard me, all of that. Welcome back. I'm so happy that we have the both of you on. So in this segment, I wanted to kind of just talk about the behind the scenes of, running the business, some of the challenges. So let's talk about some of your orders. I was reading in your bio about one of your largest orders. Could you tell the audience what that was like, who the client was, how many items you needed to fulfill?
I'll say the largest order would be, it was a grand opening for Cherry Blossom Intimates. That was the business. And the order was actually 500 cookies and 250 cupcakes.
Wow.
So that was something. That was a large order.
That was a large order, my God. How long does it take you to prepare to be able to fulfill an order like that?
Well, that one's kind of hard. I guess it just depends on what it is, but I think that order,
It didn't take that long because what we actually did was prepped beforehand, so it wasn't the day before. We were doing
you can't wait till
a couple of days
for that.
before then. For the cupcakes, she may have put the flavor, mixed it, and put it in the bag separately. So it still was a lot of work, but we prepared, so it wasn't like a last minute thing. We were prepared for it.
Wow, that's awesome. So what are some of the, what's the feedback that you receive from your customers and, about your product?
Well, one, they think it's delicious. A lot of people, they'll say the cake is moist, or they'll love the icing. They'll eat it by itself if they could. But then some people say that it reminds them of home.
Yes. Yes, yeah. I mean, as long as it has that flavor, that authentic homemade flavor, yeah, that's wonderful. And nobody likes dry cupcakes, so thank God yours isn't. So Gabrielle, I'm just again inspired by the fact that you have your mother as a support system. How do you feel about her, involved in supporting your business?
She helps me a lot, like other than, of course, finances and stuff. But even like emotionally and like physically, like so if I'm tired, like she helps me with that. Maybe she may like help me with a certain thing, like I tell her to do something. Or
giving orders already.
But a lot of times I have to direct her to do a certain thing too.
Boss lady in the house.
So that is fun though, directing her. So just being a boss, I would say.
You heard it. She's claiming it.
It's challenging at times.
Yeah, I'm sure. What about your teachers and people in your school? How do they react, to knowing that you have your own company?
A lot of them support me. I've actually had to do, I think it was a sheet cake or 2 sheet cakes for my school when they had like a teacher's luncheon. So that was kind of one way they supported me. I have baked for my class sometimes when we have parties. But of course, there are some teachers that aren't so supportive. So,
well, you're going to always have that.
Yes.
But that's, but I'm sure all the kids, all your classmates just absolutely love you, Come on now, we're gonna have some wonderful cupcakes, so that's a wonderful thing. So tell me about the big vision dream for your company. Where do you see it, 5 years from now?
Like I said, like one of the earlier segments, I do want to have
Yes.
a storefront in New York or
yes.
Los Angeles. I do want to bake for Oprah eventually.
Yes.
But I do want to also have other products, at my bakeries too.
I think you were mentioning about another venture. Is it okay to talk about that venture?
Yes. Yes.
And what is that venture?
So that venture where I'm making, decorative sugars and sprinkles, and I'm also going to have other products that I'm selling for that business.
Okay. So you can
that
brand
business
it.
name.
Oh, it's Gigi's Delights.
Gigi's Delight. Okay. Yes. So basically, it would be just like you said, just is it the sugar stuff that you put on there, or the sprinkles, or
more decorative?
Okay.
Decorative
products for cake baking. It's still staying in the baking area, but going more into like the decorating stages of baking as well.
Okay.
We did have a soft launch of her sprinkles, and it did very well.
I'm sure it did. I'm sure it did. So that's wonderful. So you're branching out. That's a good thing to be able to have a business within a business. So again, when you talked about some of the people who are not supportive, is it, how do you deal with people who are like naysayers, or people who might, show like they might be a little bit envious, or?
Mostly just ignore them now. It used to affect me when I was just starting out, but now I just don't worry about it. I'm just like, okay, just keep talking, but I'm making money and you're not.
Yeah,
pretty
okay,
much. Especially with
boss
like,
lady, right?
especially like with classmates, if they would say something, but it doesn't affect me that much.
Oh, I'm sure it doesn't. So speak about some of the challenges that you have working together, in terms of your mother's.
As she stated earlier, the directing and telling me what to do. Sometimes I have to remind her I am mom, so she might want to lower her tone a little bit.
Oh, no.
And sometimes I do respect it, because I have to realize that she does have a brand and she's trying to, expand her brand.
Yes.
So sometimes I have to tell myself, am I the employee or am I going to be mom? So if I'm going to be the employee, sometimes if I'm not doing something right, then we all know if you're not doing it right, the boss is going to have some words for you.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's still a work in progress.
Written warnings or anything like that, right?
But sometimes I do, let her know, hey, okay, I get it, but you might want to change your tone. And sometimes I may be hard on her as well, because I see her greatness, and it's that, hey, I know what your vision is, and I'm going to do everything I can for you to reach that vision, and I'm not going to let you slack off.
Absolutely.
So sometimes it is a little difficult between the two, but we always end up speaking about it after the fact.
Well, the both of you are just so incredibly inspiring. I mean, you as a mother, just supporting your daughter's vision. If more parents out there, as you mentioned, would just listen and not, taking your child seriously, that makes a big difference. And you, Gabrielle, just, soaring your wings and just flying. And it's just so inspiring to know that the both of you are right here in Prince George's County. We wish you nothing but success. We know you're going to just make our county proud, and just your family. And we're just so grateful to have you here. So in closing, that is our show for today. We want to thank our special studio guests. Ms. Vernice Williams and Gabrielle Williams. We also want to thank all of our amazing crew and our staff here at PGCTV, and most importantly, we want to thank you, our viewing audience. We hope that you found this information useful. We hope you find it valuable. And again, we always thank you for taking time to watch our show. And don't forget to do what you love and love what you do. Bye for now.